What happens when one of the biggest superstars in the world sits down for what she thinks will be a friendly interview, only to find herself under attack from a host who seems determined to tear her down? What you're about to witness is the most explosive clash in daytime television history, where professionalism went out the window and things got personal fast. Before we dive into this incredible story, make sure to hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments what you think really triggered this massive confrontation. Jennifer Lopez walked onto The View set that Tuesday morning expecting the usual promotional interview. She was there to talk about her latest film project, her upcoming tour, and maybe share some behind-the-scenes stories with the audience. The atmosphere seemed normal as she exchanged pleasantries with the other hosts. But something felt different when she made eye contact with Joy Behar. There was a tension in the air that Jennifer couldn't quite place, but she brushed it off as pre-show nerves. Welcome back to The View, everyone. We're here with the incredibly talented Jennifer Lopez. Joy began, her smile looking forced as the cameras rolled. Jennifer, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for having me, Joy. It's always a pleasure to be here, Jennifer replied warmly, settling into her chair with the confidence of someone who had done thousands of interviews. The first few minutes went smoothly. They discussed Jennifer's new movie, her preparation for the role, and working with her co-stars. But then Joy's tone began to shift, becoming more pointed and aggressive. Now, Jennifer, I have to ask about something that's been bothering me, Joy said, leaning forward with a look that Jennifer later described as predatory. You've been in the entertainment industry for decades now, and yet you keep reinventing yourself, jumping from music to movies to business ventures. Some people might say you're spread too thin, that you're not really excellent at any one thing. Jennifer's smile faltered slightly, but she maintained her composure. Well, Joy, I think being versatile is actually a strength. I love challenging myself and exploring different creative outlets. My fans seem to appreciate that I don't put myself in a box. But don't you think there's something to be said for mastering one craft? Joy pressed, her voice taking on a condescending tone. I mean, when you look at real artists, they dedicate their lives to perfecting their art. They don't just jump around chasing whatever's popular. The other hosts exchanged uncomfortable glances. This wasn't the direction anyone expected the interview to take, and Jennifer's publicist, sitting just off camera, began shifting nervously in her seat. I'm sorry, Joy, but I think you're misunderstanding what artistry means, Jennifer responded, her voice still controlled but with an edge creeping in. Some of the greatest artists in history were multidisciplinary. They painted, they sculpted, they wrote. Being passionate about multiple forms of expression doesn't make someone less of an artist. Joy's laugh was sharp and dismissive. Oh, please, Jennifer. Let's be honest here. You're not Michelangelo. You're a celebrity who's good at marketing herself. There's a difference between being a true artist and being a brand. The studio audience began to murmur uncomfortably. This was supposed to be a light-hearted morning show interview, not a character assassination. Jennifer's jaw tightened, but she tried to redirect the conversation. Joy, I came here today to talk about my new project, which I'm very proud of. I'm not sure why you're choosing to attack my career and my integrity. Attack? Joy scoffed. I'm asking legitimate questions that I think our viewers deserve answers to. You put yourself out there as this multi-talented superstar, but when someone questions that narrative, suddenly it's an attack? No, Joy, asking legitimate questions would be inquiring about my process, my inspirations, my upcoming projects. Jennifer shot back, her famous composure beginning to crack. What you're doing is trying to diminish my accomplishments and question my authenticity for no apparent reason. Joy's eyes lit up with what looked like satisfaction at getting under Jennifer's skin. Your authenticity? Well, since you brought it up, let's talk about that. How many times have you changed your image to match whatever's trending? The innocent girl next door, the fierce diva, the businesswoman, the romantic. Which one is the real Jennifer Lopez? The real Jennifer Lopez is all of those things. Jennifer replied firmly, I'm a complex person, just like everyone else. I don't see why I should apologize for growing and evolving as a human being. Or maybe, Joy continued with a smirk, you just change your personality depending on what sells best at the moment. The silence that followed was deafening. Even the camera operators seemed to sense they were witnessing something unprecedented. Jennifer stared at Joy for a long moment, and when she spoke, her voice was dangerously quiet. Excuse me? You heard me, Joy said, clearly emboldened by the reaction she was getting. I think our viewers are smart enough to see through the constant reinvention. At what point does adaptation become manipulation? Jennifer's hands gripped the arms of her chair. Joy, I don't know what your problem is with me personally, but this is completely unprofessional, and frankly, it's beneath you. My problem? Joy laughed again, that same sharp, grating sound. I don't have a problem with you, Jennifer. I have a problem with the cult of celebrity in this country, where we're supposed to worship people just because they're famous, regardless of whether they actually deserve it. The other hosts tried to jump in and change the subject, but Joy was just getting started, and Jennifer was no longer willing to sit there and take it quietly. Deserve it? Jennifer's voice rose for the first time, and everyone in the studio could feel the temperature change. Joy, what exactly have I done to you that makes you think you can sit here and attack my character on national television? Joy leaned back in her chair, clearly enjoying the chaos she had created. This isn't personal, Jennifer. This is about honesty. This is about calling out the machine that creates these manufactured personas and pretends they're authentic. Manufactured? Jennifer stood up abruptly, her chair rolling backward. I have worked my entire life to get where I am. I started dancing in nightclubs in the Bronx when I was barely out of high school. I auditioned for hundreds of roles, got rejected more times than I can count, and fought for every single opportunity. Nothing about my career has been manufactured. Oh, come on, Joy waved her hand dismissively. You had connections, you had the right look at the right time, you had people packaging you and selling you to the public. Let's not pretend this is some rags to riches story. Jennifer's eyes flashed with anger. You know what, Joy? You're absolutely right about one thing. I did have the right look. I had the look of a Latina woman in an industry that didn't want us. Do you know how many times I was told I was too ethnic for mainstream roles? Do you know how many times I was told to change my name, to hide my background, to make myself more palatable to white audiences? The studio had gone completely silent. Even the crew members had stopped what they were doing to watch this unprecedented confrontation unfold. And instead of doing that, Jennifer continued, her voice growing stronger, I chose to embrace who I was. I chose to represent my community and show little girls who looked like me that they could dream big too. But apparently, in your mind, that makes me manufactured. Joy shifted uncomfortably, perhaps realizing she had pushed too far, but her pride wouldn't let her back down. I'm not talking about your ethnicity, Jennifer. I'm talking about your career moves, your strategic relationships, your calculated public image. Strategic relationships? Jennifer's voice was incredulous. Are you talking about my personal life now? Are you seriously going to sit there and reduce my relationships to career moves? Well, you have to admit, your dating history reads like a who's who of Hollywood, Joy said with a cruel smile. It's quite convenient how every relationship seems to coincide with a major project or career milestone. The gasps from the audience were audible now. This had crossed every line of professional decency, and everyone knew it. Jennifer's face went pale, then flushed with rage. How dare you, she said quietly, her voice shaking with fury. How dare you sit there and judge my personal life, my relationships, my heart? You don't know me. You don't know what I've been through, what I've sacrificed, what I've endured. I know what I see, Joy replied coldly. I see someone who's very good at playing the game. The game? Jennifer laughed bitterly. You want to talk about games, Joy? Let's talk about your game. Let's talk about how you sit here every day, hiding behind this desk, tearing down successful women, because it makes you feel better about your own insecurities. Joy's face darkened. Excuse me? I've been in this business longer than you've been alive. I don't need to tear anyone down. Really? Because that's exactly what you've been doing for the past 10 minutes? Jennifer shot back. You invited me here under the pretense of promoting my work, and instead you've spent the entire time trying to humiliate me. I'm asking the questions that need to be asked, Joy insisted, her voice rising to match Jennifer's intensity. No, you're not, Jennifer replied firmly. You're being cruel for the sake of being cruel. You're using your platform to bully someone, and you're doing it because you think you can get away with it. The other hosts finally tried to intervene. Maybe we should take a commercial break. One of them suggested nervously. No, Jennifer said, holding up her hand. I'm not finished. Joy, I want you to look at me and tell me what I've ever done to deserve this treatment. Have I been rude to you? Have I disrespected you? Have I done anything to warrant this level of hostility? Joy's silence spoke volumes. She couldn't answer, because there was no answer. Her attack on Jennifer had been unprovoked and unprofessional. That's what I thought, Jennifer continued. You know what this really is? This is jealousy. This is you seeing a woman who's successful, who's happy, who's living her dreams, and you can't stand it. I am not jealous of you, Joy snapped, but her protest sounded hollow. Then what is this? Jennifer demanded. Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like a bitter woman who's threatened by success. She'll never achieve trying to drag someone else down to her level. The words hung in the air like a bomb that had just exploded. Joy's face went red with rage and embarrassment. She had started this fight thinking she could dominate Jennifer Lopez, but instead she had been exposed as petty and unprofessional in front of millions of viewers. You have some nerve, Joy sputtered, struggling to regain control of the situation. I have nerve? Jennifer's laugh was sharp and incredulous. I have nerve because I'm defending myself against your unprovoked attack? Because I'm not sitting here quietly while you try to destroy my reputation for your own entertainment? The tension in the studio was so thick it was almost suffocating. Everyone knew they were witnessing television history, but not the kind anyone wanted to be part of. This wasn't entertainment anymore. It was a blood sport, and Joy had brought a knife to a gunfight. You want to know what nerve really looks like, Joy? Jennifer said, her voice steady but filled with controlled fury. Nerve is sitting behind that desk thinking you can tear apart someone's life, work, and personal relationships for ratings. Nerve is believing that your bitterness gives you the right to attack someone who's done nothing to you. Joy's composure was completely shattered now. She had lost control of her own show, and everyone could see it. This is my show, Jennifer. If you don't like the questions, you can leave. Oh, I'm going to leave, Jennifer replied with deadly calm. But not before I finish saying what needs to be said. Because somebody needs to call you out on this behavior, and apparently none of your colleagues have the courage to do it. The other hosts looked mortified. They wanted to disappear, but they were trapped in their chairs, forced to witness this public execution of their show's credibility. You see, Joy, this isn't really about me at all, Jennifer continued, pacing slightly as she spoke. This is about a pattern of behavior that your viewers have been subjected to for years. This is about how you use this platform to tear down women, especially successful women, especially women of color. Don't you dare make this about race, Joy interrupted desperately. Why not? Jennifer fired back. When was the last time you attacked a white male celebrity with this level of viciousness? When was the last time you questioned their authenticity, their relationships, their right to success? I'll wait. The silence that followed was deafening. Joy's mouth opened and closed like a fish out of water. But no words came out. That's what I thought, Jennifer said coldly. You know what the real tragedy is here? There are young women watching this show right now, and you're teaching them that it's okay to tear each other down. You're showing them that success makes you a target, that ambition makes you fake, that being multi-talented makes you somehow less worthy. Jennifer turned to face the camera directly, speaking to the audience at home. To any young woman watching this, please don't let this bitter display discourage you from pursuing your dreams. Don't let anyone tell you that you're too much, that you're trying too hard, that you need to dim your light to make others comfortable. She turned back to Joy, who was now visibly shaking with rage and humiliation. And to you, Joy, I want you to think about the legacy you're building here. Is this really how you want to be remembered? As the woman who used her platform to bully and belittle other women? I have been a champion for women my entire career, Joy said weakly, but even she didn't sound convinced. Really? Jennifer's eyebrows raised in mock surprise. Because right now, you sound like every man who ever told a woman she was too ambitious, too confident, too successful for her own good. You sound like every person who ever tried to make me feel like I didn't belong. The camera operators were getting signals from the control room to cut to commercial, but nobody wanted to miss a second of this unprecedented moment. This was the kind of television that people would be talking about for decades. You know what the saddest part is? Jennifer continued, her voice softer now but no less powerful. We should be supporting each other. We should be celebrating each other's victories. But instead, you chose to use your position to try to tear me down. And for what? What did you gain from this? Joy tried one last desperate attempt to regain control. I was doing my job. I was asking tough questions. No, Joy, Jennifer said firmly. Your job is to inform and entertain your audience. Your job is to have meaningful conversations with your guests. Your job is not to ambush people with personal attacks disguised as journalism. Jennifer walked over to where her purse was sitting and picked it up. You know what real courage looks like? Real courage is admitting when you're wrong. Real courage is apologizing when you've hurt someone. Real courage is using your platform to lift people up instead of tearing them down. She turned back to Joy one final time. I came here today with respect for you and this show. I've watched The View for years, and I believed it stood for something better than this. But you've shown me exactly who you are, and I believe you. The other hosts were frantically trying to signal to the production team, but Jennifer wasn't finished. Joy, I genuinely hope that someday you find whatever it is you're looking for. I hope you find the piece that's clearly missing from your life. But I won't sit here and let you use me as a punching bag to work through your own issues. Jennifer started walking toward the exit, but Joy couldn't let her have the last word. Where are you going? We're not finished here. Jennifer stopped and turned around slowly, a look of absolute incredulity on her face. Oh, we are absolutely finished here. We were finished the moment you decided to turn a professional interview into a personal attack. You can't just walk out, Joy said desperately. This is live television. Watch me, Jennifer replied with a smile that was anything but friendly. And Joy, next time you want to interview someone, try remembering that they're a human being with feelings, not just content for your show. As Jennifer headed for the door, Joy made one final, catastrophic mistake. Fine. Go running back to your handlers. I'm sure they'll spin this whole thing to make you look like the victim. Jennifer stopped dead in her tracks. The entire studio held its breath. When she turned around, her expression was so intense that several crew members actually took a step back. My handlers? Jennifer's voice was dangerously quiet. You mean my team? The people who believed in me when no one else would? The people who've supported my career and helped me build something meaningful? Those handlers? She walked back toward Joy's desk, and for a moment, it looked like she might lean across it. Instead, she placed both hands on the surface and looked Joy directly in the eyes. Let me tell you something about my team, Joy. They're the ones who told me I was too good for this interview. They're the ones who warned me that you might try something like this. And right now, they're probably watching from the green room, proud of me for finally standing up to a bully. Joy had gone completely pale. She had pushed the wrong person too far, and now she was paying the price in front of millions of viewers. You want to know what's really sad? Jennifer said, straightening up. I actually felt sorry for you when I walked in here today. I could see the anger in your eyes, and I thought maybe you were having a bad day. I tried to be gracious. I tried to redirect the conversation. I tried to give you multiple opportunities to be professional. But you were determined to make this ugly. She picked up her purse